Ave Maria Stella Dei Mater.
Hello and welcome back to Vatican II in a Year. I am your host, Father Matthew Schneider. I'm a priest of the Church of Christ, and I am a theology professor. This is a podcast of the StarQuest Production Network at sqpn.com. Today we're on day 17 of our year-long journey through the documents of Vatican II. We're covering Sacrosanctum Concilium 42 to 46. This is going to be the last part of chapter 1 of Sacrosanctum Concilium, and it is on liturgical commissions. If you want to follow along, we have a reading plan and more details at sqpn.com/Vatican and frmatthewlc.com/Vatican. So where are we? Before we get into the content today, 42 to 46, we have to say where we are, right? We're in the general principles for the restoration and promotion of the sacred liturgy. That is chapter 1 of Sacrosanctum Concilium. And we're in the third part of that chapter, the reform of the sacred liturgy. Yesterday, we talked about local variation and the role of the bishop in the local church. Today, we're talking about the unity in the diocesan liturgy and promotion of liturgy, including liturgical commissions. So let's get into this. Paragraph 42 is still in the promotion of liturgical life in the diocesan and parish. The other paragraphs are going to be in a different subsection. So let's read paragraph 42. But because it is possible for the bishop to always and everywhere to preside over the whole flock in the church, he cannot do other than establish lesser groups of the faithful. Among these, the parishes set up locally under a pastor who takes the place of the bishop are most important, for in some manner they represent the visible church constituted throughout the world. And therefore, the liturgical life of the parish and his relationship to the bishop must be fostered, theoretically and practically, among the faithful and clergy. Efforts also must be made to encourage a sense of unity within the parish, above all, the common celebration of the Sunday Mass, right? So here, what we're talking about is, yesterday we talked about the bishop and the unity of the bishop in the liturgy, but obviously the bishop can't celebrate every single Mass in the diocese. So he sets up parishes, he sets up groups, most especially parishes, but you might have other things like university chaplaincies or military chaplaincies in a part of the diocese or things like that. And those are also groupings like that. And the idea here is that unity of the parishes, and also the unity in the parish under the pastor, under the parish priest, whatever you want to call them. I've heard both, and this we have really present, right? That idea of the unity of the parish in worship, the unity of the parish in the liturgy. And the pastor has a good role of ensuring that unity with the bishop and ensuring a kind of constancy in the parish. It's good that, you might have an associate who's, their style of homilies might be a little different, things might be a little different, but it shouldn't be a radically different Mass with the pastor or the associate or assistant or whatever you call it, the vicar, or whoever the other priests are in the parish, right? And they shouldn't be a radically different experience going to Mass with the different priests there, because there should be that unity in that parish and that unity from that parish to the bishop. So paragraph 43 gives us a new section, which is going to be the last subsection of this chapter, and it will cover the rest of today. And it's the promotion of pastoral liturgical action. So this is the combination of pastoral action and liturgical action, how they work together. So this first paragraph 43, here we go. Zeal for the promotion and restoration of the liturgy is rightly held to be a sign of the providential dispositions of God in our time, as movement of the Holy Spirit in his church. It is today a distinguishing mark of the church's life, indeed the whole tenor of contemporary religious thought and action. So that this pastoral liturgical action may become even more vigorous in the church, the sacred council decrees. So that last line is just giving us, hey, the next these are going to follow through what we say here, right? This idea of zeal for the liturgy is a good thing, right? The sign of the times, liturgical movement. If you remember in the beginning, when we talked with Father Lang, we talked a lot about, at least a decent amount about the liturgical movement, this kind of movement to go from just like the priest and the acolyte or server saying going back and forth to the whole congregation responded to, like the priest saying more of the Mass out loud, things like that. And the Council Fathers are taking this as a sign of the times and something good and something positive that they want to expand to the whole church, not just the groups in the liturgical movement, right? So this is a key part of Catholic life, the liturgy, right? It's the source and summit of Christian life. It is where we are going, all those things, right, with the liturgy. We have wonderful things with liturgy. And so the next 3 paragraphs are about promoting it, and promoting not just the liturgy, promoting the pastoral action around the liturgy as well. And a lot of that is in these liturgical commissions, which can seem kind of dry at times, like I'm sure commissions meetings. But if they're run well, they should help promote the liturgy, promote people doing things to help promote the liturgy as well, to say, hey, we're going to teach this parish, we're going to explain it, we're going to do all these things, right? So I'm going to read paragraphs 44 and 45 together because they are kind of related. Basically, 44 is about the bishops' conferences and things like that, and 45 is basically also the same thing should happen in the diocese, but let's read them. 44, it is desirable that the competent territorial ecclesiastical authority mentioned in Article 22.2 set up a liturgical commission to be assisted by experts in liturgical science, sacred music, art, and pastoral practice. So far as possible, the commission should be aided by some kind of institute for pastoral liturgy, consisting of persons who are eminent in the matters, including laymen as circumstances suggest. Under the direction of the above-mentioned territorial ecclesiastical authority, the commission is to regulate pastoral liturgical actions throughout the territory and to promote studies and necessary experiments whenever there is question of adaptation to be proposed to the Apostolic See. 45. For the same reason, every diocese is to have a commission on the sacred liturgy under the direction of the bishop for promoting the liturgical apostolate. Sometimes it may be expedient that several dioceses should form between them one single commission, which is able to promote the liturgy by a common consultation. So those are the numbers. There's an importance of studying and promoting the liturgy at the various levels together, that unity throughout those different levels, unity of the parish, the diocese, the bishops of the United States, things like that, right? This has gone through various things. Right now, the one at the level in the U.S. is called the USCCB's, United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, Committee on Divine Worship, is what they call it now. Right now, they don't call it Liturgical Commission, but like Committee on Divine Worship, the same kind of idea. And obviously, there's a certain academic aspect of this, but the goal is not academic, it's action, right? We want the liturgical apostle. We want people to live the liturgy better. We want people to be imbued with the spirit of liturgy, that active participation, bring it about in the parishes. Don't just be like, hey, like we talked all about this and it's, it's a meeting and it's all these things. No, what are we doing concretely? That's one of the key elements. So finally, paragraph 46. I think today's going to be a little quicker than usual. So last paragraph, this is on things around the liturgy. Let's read it. 46. Besides the commission on the sacred liturgy, every diocese, as far as possible, should have commissions for sacred music and sacred art. These three commissions must work in the closest collaboration. Indeed, it will be often best to fuse the three of them into one single commission, right? So this idea of art and music, and they help the liturgy, right? If you're in a church that's beautiful, has beautiful art, it helps you get into the spirit of the liturgy, right? Get into that active participation. If you hear like this wonderful music that's rising you up to think about Jesus, to think about, the birth of Jesus at Christmas, it helps you live the liturgy of Christmas better. And this should be done in kind of at least at awesome level, in communion with the local bishop, right? And it should be coordinated with the liturgical commission. And in most cases, I think it's going to be combined just based on personnel and not having too many meetings in many places. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully we see the beauty of the art and music in the liturgy. There will be a whole section at the end of Sacrosanctum Concilium on it, so I won't go in depth on it too much right now. So thank you for listening to this episode of Vatican II in a Year. This is a listener-supported podcast. You can donate to help StarQuest produce it and other great podcasts at sqpn.com/give. You can give one time, monthly, or join the StarQuest Patreon. Tomorrow, we are going to continue on the next paragraphs of Sacrosanctum Concilium, which is going to be paragraphs 47 to 50 on the Mass as a perpetual sacrifice, which will start chapter 2, which is on that kind of topic as well, on the Eucharist. Please join us then to learn more about Vatican II, which provide a blueprint for the Catholic Church. Go to sqpn.com/Vatican, frmatthewlc.com/Vatican, or Vatican SQPN on Facebook and X for more information on the podcast, such as playlists for individual documents and a reading plan.